This week, we're going to be talking about Goodwill Finds and why we think it might be in for a major rehaul sooner rather than later.
So this video came from our comments. So we received a few of them. I'll pop at least one of them up on the screen. And they wanted our thoughts on the revelation that Goodwill is putting all of their stuff online.
Yeah, now this has been a huge topic in the community, and we have kind of been a little bit delayed. One, because we've been on vacation, we're back now, but also because we wanted to make sure that we had our heads fully around exactly what Goodwill Finds is and what it can mean for the reselling community. So let's start with the first question. What is Goodwill Finds?
So Goodwill Finds is a newly released website, released on October 4th, I believe, where all of the Goodwills from across the country are now required to list and post things on the Goodwill Finds website for sale.
Now, we don't know exactly what the parameters are for the stores, how much they have to list or any of that, but we do know that they stated that they want to have approximately 1 million items by end of year.
Yes, they're looking for 1 million items by the end of the year. And to put that into a little bit of context, eBay Open had 1 billion active listings. So they're a little bit behind eBay at the moment.
They're definitely a smaller pool for sure. So this website is going to be a way for shoppers to go and purchase items, buy it now, put it in your cart, and get things that you would have been able to get at the Goodwill store, but this is going to be sourced from all different Goodwills across the country, all on one website where you can just type in a brand, type in a category, whatever it is, to find what you're looking for.
Yeah, so I think it's their method of being a little bit more sustainable, getting a broader audience, and just making the shopping at Goodwill more convenient than having to look through everything in your size.
Yeah.
For the retail average person.
So let's start with one of the biggest concerns that's out there is that Goodwill is going to be a big competition online, and they're going to be taking their high-priced items out of the stores and putting it online. So I think the first thing we should remember with this is that Goodwill has been online, always, for quite a long time anyways. They've had the Shop Goodwill website since 1999. Now this website is predominantly, or I guess exclusively, an auction website, and they take their higher priced items and put them there to get a higher dollar amount.
So we actually covered this in a reseller recap. We can link the video where they made not great news for selling an electronic voting machine part on the Goodwill site already. So like it's been an established thing. So the numbers we have, they actually made on the Shop Goodwill, they made $1 billion worth of sales in February of 2021. So they've been selling actively on there for a very long time.
Yes. So absolutely, they've already been online. Another thing we found out when digging into this is they've actually already been on the resale platforms that we know. So they've been on eBay and Poshmark and all of that type of thing. Amazon. They've been on there and they've been building up those stores. Now, this was done on an individual store basis rather than a collective, but they've been online and they've been taking those items and putting them on resale platforms. So it's not really new. It's just a new way to do it.
Yeah. So it's moral of this story, the Cliff Notes is they've already been your competition. You just probably haven't seen it.
Yes. Exactly. So the Goodwill Finds website, as you see it now, is not the final iteration by any means. Right now, it is exclusively essentially a selling platform where you can type in items and purchase that item. But they're looking to make additions in the future. So I wanted to kind of just give you a sneak peek of what those additions might be.
So the first is they're going to try to do what Amazon does. All of the big online retailers do is personalize to what you're shopping for based off your past transactions. Try to make recommendations. That is going to be coming to the Goodwill store. So they want to curate everything based off of your past to make recommendations on the Goodwill Finds website, and they're going to be probably fine-tuning that for a long, long time. Hopefully they have better tech teams than Poshmark. It's hard to see how they could be worse, honestly.
But if you guys are worried about creepy shopper experience, because we've talked about this plenty of times in our channel here, it's coming. Yeah. It's coming. So that's coming soon.
They want to start collaborating for their ad revenue with social media influencers to do, this is my favorite find from Goodwill. I was able to find a great deal. It's sustainable. All of those trendy topics and things that are valuable. And it's certainly worth mentioning.
Right, and it's definitely something we talked about in previous videos that we would like Poshmark to do, where influencers are going to come and they're going to curate picks and they're going to basically say like, hey, these are my sustainable picks from this Goodwill store. You should buy it. You can get it right here. They're going to be doing that. I think that is a very smart move on their part, but if Poshmark doesn't get on board, it is a little bit nerve-wracking for us resellers.
The next is a loyalty membership program where if you are looking for that special collectible or the hard to find item, you're going to get early access to shop before it's released to everyone across the board. And I'm concerned about that. I'm hoping that it's not some kind of fee. I'm hoping it's a carryover from the in-store loyalty program, where it's a free program. You just have to sign up with your email. I am concerned that it's going to be a pay-to-play kind of thing.
It probably is. So, I mean, that is something that's going to be exclusive access. We'll see what that looks like as it rolls out. It's not something that I've seen on many other resale platforms. Let me know if you guys know of something similar and what that might look like, because I'd be curious to see. But yeah, I mean, for collectors out there, they're willing to pay for that early access. So I can see why that would be a valuable thing to add.
I mean, resellers I can see that paying for the early access to the high ticket items.
Right. Can I pay for early access to the store and pick out all the stuff before all the resellers do it?
Yeah.
I mean, Goodwill, hit me up, Okay.
Okay, so moving on to our thoughts. So we've covered what it is and what it's going to look like at some point down the road. This is years and years out. They just released it in October. They're still fine-tuning it. They're going to run into so many headaches, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure.
What are our thoughts? Do we think that it's going to be a replacement for reselling?
No. So first off, let's look at the simple thing you can look at on here, price points of these items. So, I mean, I've only done a little bit on this, kind of searched some brands and looked at the sold prices, looked at the listed prices. And the first thing that stands out is it is inconsistent.
It's everywhere. Yeah. The prices are from $10 to $150. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now, if you go and search the Facebook groups, I'll try and post some things if I can find them or if I can find them from the groups. But essentially what you're noticing is that there is user error, definitely. Decimal places are pushed somewhere. We've seen Sonoma sweater for, I think it was like $300.
It has to be $30. That's the only answer I can. I don't know if it retailed for $30, honestly, but something's going on there.
Yes. So this is something we've come to expect at Goodwill. I mean, part of the reason that we always say don't just judge a thrift store based on the first few items you see is because pricing is inconsistent. It's always based on the person that's pricing it, and that can be really advantageous for resellers.
You'll see the same brand back to back at drastically different prices in the store. You'll see, oh, this is $15. This is $4.
Right.
So the same thing on the website, it's carrying over.
Absolutely. And it's definitely partly because this is from all different stores. So Colorado might be listing, as well as South Carolina, South California. All of these different places are listing, and they're listing at the prices that they think these items should go for. So I do think that will change over time as they have more comps built up on their website. But for right now, super inconsistent, but resellers can take advantage of this.
Yes. So there have been numerous high ticket items that have sold for a crazy low price because of this, because they either weren't recognized or the person fat fingered it and meant to put in an extra zero. So I think we saw a Celine bag go for $30.
Yes.
So if you are staying ahead of the brands and the trends, because it's impossible to know everything. So Goodwill is not going to be on top of it, and they're going to miss brands. They're not going to be on top of the trends, and it's going to be down to what the person that is putting the photos up online knows.
Right. Along those same lines, there's been a lot of misspellings. Now, I've gone through and looked at some common misspellings that I know for brands that I'm familiar with, and you can definitely see that there are misspellings on there, and those misspellings are selling for a lower price because people are searching by keyword, and if they can't find it by that keyword, they're not really looking another way right now. It's still a new website, so if you can get ahead of that, if you know common misspellings for brands that you like to sell, definitely check it out and see if there is a way that you can kind of undercut and grab some items.
So my biggest hope for this is because of the inconsistency with the price, it very well could be driving up the visible comps that you see. So everyone knows that you can't trust Google pricing. I mean, my wife knows more than I do because I have moments where I don't do a great job of that, admittedly. But you can't trust what you see on Google because they are curating the top pricing, and you probably are going to start seeing those once they are indexed in the Google SEO. You'll see their crazy prices for a Sonoma sweater or any brand.
Yeah, so I think that it's important to remember that we have all had concerns about things such as live sales or volume selling or just any kind of selling where you're selling items for drastically lower than what they're worth, that's going to drive down comps. But something like this may actually pull it back up because Goodwill has a vested interest in selling these items at a better price. Otherwise, they would just continue selling it in their stores. Yeah. So they're trying to raise that price up, and that could be good for us. We do want to see those prices get buoyed a little bit. So, you know, while I'm not thrilled about the whole thing, that's a positive. That's a silver lining.
I think it is. For a long time, reselling community, there's almost a race to the bottom of I'll get mine I don't have to worry about other people getting theirs.
And I'm guilty of this too. We're
yeah,
not saying
there's
that.
nothing wrong with that. It's just it does over time depreciate the value of the item and depress the pricing a little bit.
So having another company come in and buoy that a little bit, I'll take that.
Now, do we think that this is going to lead to the Goodwills taking all of the top end items out of the store?
So I'll give you my perspective and you can give yours. But for me, I don't know that they have the time. So we know that they process so many items, so much so that they actually have an overfill bin that not only is items that they haven't sold, but also items that they couldn't process for whatever reason. Those are the outlets. If you haven't shopped at them, you should check them out.
Go to the bins. You'll see things that are priced way too high and they just don't move and they have to throw them in the bins.
Yes.
So it happens.
So they're processing so many items, and these items are definitely being listed on this website by individuals. I just don't see that there would be a way that they could possibly get all of the great items out of the stores and onto the website with individual humans doing this. I don't see that happening, but that's just my personal perspective.
See, I think it's not time so much as they don't care. I think it's the laziness and the apathy of the Goodwill employee, which that's nothing wrong. Everyone is lazy in their job at times, and I
don't know anybody lazy in their job.
I'm never lazy. If my boss is watching this, I am never lazy. So I think that they are not going to see any of the benefit of pricing them competitively. So if you're a Goodwill employee and pricing a Tory Burch bag or a Louis Vuitton bag or some designer item, you don't get any cut of that. You have no incentive to price it for what it's worth. You have no incentive for putting it out on the website versus just having it in the store, because it doesn't matter to you either way.
Yeah, now those, of course, are our personal opinions. We don't know how this is going to shake out, and we will be watching it over time, and if we see something, we will definitely let you guys know. But for right now, we're not super concerned about that side of it. Okay, so before we get into the massive problems that Goodwill might be experiencing very soon, we do have a thank you. And as I say every time, I can't say thank you enough to everybody who has joined our channel. This channel membership is $1 a month, and we have links in our description every time for that. If you want to join, the biggest perk we have right now is our Facebook group, which we love, and we love getting to know you guys. This has been so much fun, but we have a thank you.
Yes, so it's the Jessica J. And
the one, not just Jessica J.
The one, definitively the one. And thank you again. It is the craziest thing that people want to be part of a community that we're involved with. It makes our entire day. Our entire vacation was focused on the fact that this happened. Like, that derailed all of our vacation plans.
We actually had a great chat with you guys while we were on vacation, with you guys updating us on your business and what was going on, because we weren't able to really kind of do much since we were on vacation. And it was so cool to see just how wonderful our community is, seeing everyone talk to each other. It was just, I can't even tell you. So again, thank you. And please join us. I will be back posting very regularly starting tomorrow, because today is Sunday. So come and see what we're talking about, what we're doing. I have a lot of great things I want to share. So yeah, thank you again.
Now, what is the biggest issue? And
my biggest concern about this website?
Well, it's not a concern for us. It's a concern for Goodwill. They're in some trouble.
Yes.
Trouble.
So, if you guys saw this thumbnail and clicked on it, you want to know the drama, right? So, I have a friend named Juliet Finds, and she is on TikTok, and I'm going to try to show a clip of her TikTok.
Is Goodwill selling fake purses, and are they allowed to be? So here's my question to the TikTok community. Whether they sell fakes or not, are they allowed to be? Because selling fake purses is illegal, and you and I as resellers cannot do this on our selling platforms. Huge no-no. But here, Goodwill is like, we don't really know. Buy it at your own risk.
Basically, what she said was that she purchased a few Coach bags and found out that it is possible they're not authentic. Now, she is someone that sells a lot of Coach, and she's pretty familiar with them. She is going to get them authenticated, but when she had her doubts, she went to the GoodwillFinds website to find out what their policy is for selling fake items. So if you guys are resellers, you know that every platform has their own policies, but they're all pretty similar. Essentially, don't sell fakes.
Don't do it, or it's going to be returned. You're going to get your whole store or account shut down. It's a big don't do it. Just don't do it. It's not worth the headache. It's not worth risking your livelihood. It's the worst single thing that you can probably do.
Yeah. Now, if you are new to reselling and you don't know, it is illegal to sell fakes. This isn't just the platforms not enjoying it. It is actually a federal crime. You can face years in prison. You can face very large fines. Corporations can face more fines than individuals. and you can have all of your items confiscated and destroyed. Now, granted, do I think that happens a lot of the time? No, I don't. But it is definitely against the law. And one thing we do know for sure is the brands do care. They will come for you.
They will find you. And they have a very special set of skills that make them a nightmare for people like you.
Yes.
Like they are going to find you.
So if you're not charged with a federal crime, or even if you are, the brand can still come for you for a civil suit. Trademark infringement is one of those things. Damages to their brand because you're selling an item that is not the quality that they provide. Things like that, the brands can come for you and sue you. So all things you don't want to happen, and all things Goodwill definitely does not want to happen.
So their disclaimer says basically we try, but there's no guarantee and there's no returns. So yes, that's a huge problem.
So we are going to post their disclaimer as well as their return policy here so you can see them. But yes, essentially what they're saying is if we can authenticate the item, we will post a certificate so you know it's authenticated. If we can't, it just won't be there. There's no... We don't know if this is authentic, anything like that, which, by the way, still legal to do, but they don't even do that. It's just posted at a still super high price and just not authenticated. So you actually found an item that was not authenticated.
There are a few. So some of them have the certificate. Some of them just say authenticated with no kind of proof.
Yeah, just parentheses authenticated. Can we do that? Poshmark? Yeah. Can I do that? Is it cool?
And then there's some that don't have anything listed. I think it was a Celine bag that I found, or a Chloe bag. It's one of the two. It's a designer bag. And it has pictures. There is no evidence or no indication of a brand tag. I can't see that it's the brand that they're saying it's a brand.
Yes.
There's no indication whatsoever that the item that I'm spending hundreds of dollars on is what I'm buying.
Yes. Now, as you can see in the return policy, they do say that everything is final sale. There are no returns, which is very typical of thrift stores. We don't know right now if that is going to change when it comes to authenticity of items because, as you know, if you buy a fake on any platform, you can return it because it's against the law.
Yes, it's a huge blaring thing for all platforms. eBay, Poshmark, Mercari. No questions asked. Take it back. Take it back.
Right. So hopefully over time that does change. But right now it does look like it is no returns. Now, of course, the big question out there, right? Why is this different? Goodwill has always sold fakes in the store. We all know it. We've all seen it. I mean, if you're a reseller, you've run across a fake in a Goodwill. It's just happened. So why is it different?
I think it's just the fact that it's out there. The internet is forever, kids. The internet is forever. You don't post things to the internet that you want to disappear ever. Like, that's just risque photos. Don't do it. Illegal activity. Don't do it. Don't post about selling drugs. Don't post about selling counterfeit items. Like, don't do things that will send you to jail on the internet. Like, that's just common sense. Don't do it.
Yeah, so basically it's just awareness. The brands are not going to be able to know what is selling in an individual Goodwill store on a receipt that says bag green tag sold, but they will be able to see a Louis Vuitton bag sold on the website as a Louis Vuitton bag. Right? I mean, that makes sense. So definitely awareness. We know that brands are out there using bots and things like that to find out if their brands are being sold, counterfeit or otherwise. So Goodwill is not going to be an exception to that. It's just a matter of how is this going to play out for Goodwill in the long run. Because if they're already selling fakes and we're a few weeks in, that's pretty concerning.
I think that they are going to run into a very significant problem in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
I'm counting the days until there's some huge blow up where a designer or multiple designers, whether it's they all banded together to say, hey, please, not really please, just stop this, or you don't have stores anymore.
And maybe not even the designers, but maybe the platforms. I can see eBay, Poshmark, Amazon, all of them getting a little bit annoyed saying, hey, wait, we can't do this. Why can they? So they are competition. It's possible that happens too. So we'll see how this plays out. It'll definitely be interesting to watch, but it is not good and should definitely not be happening, but here we are.
Yeah. Now, grab your popcorn. It's going to be entertaining.
Yeah. Now, this isn't the only thing that they're doing that could get them into trouble, which I'm surprised, you know? I mean, you would think a website like this, they would be all buttoned up, but no, there's more.
So on top of counterfeit items, there are items on the eBay system that are Vero, which if you've sold at all on eBay, you know what that means. What that basically means is a trademarked word or item, product or a specific thing, Velcro, Gore-Tex, any number of things that you don't even think are brands, and you cannot use those words, not even sell them. You can't use those words when you are selling them.
Right. So basically, you can't use those words in any way to make a profit, is how that works. So we did check, and both Velcro and Gore-Tex are on the Goodwill Finds website right now. Now, we know that there are companies out there that are very diligently looking for these terms that they have trademarked, and they're doing it in a way that is just kind of scrolling the internet at a wide range. So they're absolutely going to be found out. And I don't know how they're going to adjust to that. I don't know if they're going to do like we do. Like, so Velcro, for example, you would use the word hook and loop to, get around that. That is something that they might do. But if they don't do it soon, they're definitely going to see some repercussions, whether that just means they're going to be hit with these potential lawsuits, which is
it's going to be the cease and desist. It's going to be
things like that.
Formal letter saying stop this or else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do we think Goodwill is going to get frustrated with these challenges that they face and adjust, or do we think that they're just going to kind of keep pushing forward?
I think that they have significantly underestimated the liability that they're taking on with this. I think that they are going to get frustrated. I think there's going to be a point of stubbornness because they sold $1 billion on Shop Goodwill. I don't think that it's going to go away. I think they're going to keep barreling through. They're going to have to dramatically change how the platform looks and works, and top to bottom, the people that are listing the items are going to have to know how to authenticate things, or just going to have procedures and things in place to lower that liability. That's the bottom line, is they kind of not be able to continue as they are.
Yeah, so we will see as this goes. As you guys know, there are laws proposed that could even affect this even more. We've done past videos on that. So we will see how this plays out as it goes along. I don't know if Shop Goodwill did the same thing with selling counterfeits. If you guys know, if you have experience with that, let us know in the comments below. I do think auction and buy it now are very different and they operate very differently, but either way, still illegal. So we shall see how this plays out. We shall see what happens. We'll be keeping an eye on it, so stay tuned. We want to know how you feel about Goodwill Finds. We want to know how you feel about it. Are you worried about it? Are you sourcing on it? Let us know. Make it a discussion, but that is everything we have.
Thank you all for watching.